How do we begin to change a conversation about self-care and when we give it and how much we give and why we give it? Hey, this is Tracy with Tracy Talks. Welcome. Can you do me a favor? Can you like this video? It really helps me out. When I reflect on these moments in my life when I feel like I have started investing in myself, whether it be through education, exercise, diet, typically there's something that has happened in my life. Either I feel empty, or I feel depleted, or I feel like something's missing. And it's interesting that as I was sitting here reflecting on what direction and steps that I want to take here in the next few months and how do I want to go forward, I was thinking about this idea of self-care. And I just got back from going away for a few days. And I don't know how many of you are like me, but when I reflect on my past and my history, most of the time it doesn't seem like I give myself a lot of care until I am depleted, until I'm empty, until I need to build up those reserves. And then if I think about that in a checking account way, it's like I have overdrafted my account, I have used all of my money, and I'm starting with a deficit. And whether it be my conditioning or just whatever I have picked up along the way, I can't keep doing this cycle, and I can't get to the point where I'm beyond empty, I'm in a deficit, to then give myself self-care, to do the things for me that I need to do. Like, I have to get ahead of this, and I have to be extremely selfish for a good period of time so I do have my reserves built up. I do have this excess. How many of you do this too? We go and go and go. We give and give and give. I've done this game of, I really shouldn't do this because this is more important. And I've got to stop over giving. And I've got to stop just mindlessly doing things. And I don't know that I can really build up an extra reserve of whatever this is that my self-care is providing, because there are times where I can feel like I have enormous amounts of energy and drive and excitement one minute, and then the next minute it just seems like my tank is on empty again. And I'm realizing that my design needs more attention than other people's. And it's not about me being more selfish or me being more of anything. It's just I need a lot, especially at this point in my life. I need a lot of investment in my own thoughts and creativity and what matters to me. And that was kind of one of the reasons why I needed to get away. And I didn't pick a traditional vacation spot where, there's a beach and everybody's going. And I didn't pick one of those traditional types of getaways. This was one where I was searching more for people who think and operate in the world more like I do. And it wasn't about me escaping necessarily, but trying to find more of my people and just this natural flow of where can I fit in a little bit better. And it was an area that offered a lot of similarities in how I like to live my life. But it wasn't what I would consider a place that was my forever home. But it felt like in so many ways I was getting closer to finding some place that was just more of a natural fit for me. There are specific reasons why I'm living where I'm living right now. And eventually, this isn't going to be this place that's going to tether me. And it's been this interesting consideration that I've had to really kind of dive into. It's like, when I don't live in a place that feels like it's aligned for me, it depletes my energy. It depletes my desire. It depletes this natural reserve. And how interesting when, we're in a job that we don't like. I remember having a horrible boss, and I remember being in horrible relationships. And this constant thread and through line is that my energy was depleted so much faster than if I was living and breathing and doing things that are more naturally aligned with who I am. I mean, a shitty relationship can just suck the last ounce of life out of you. A shitty job, no matter how much money you're getting, can just suck every ounce that you have out of you. And my point being is somehow this idea of self-care can't be something that happens after we're already depleted. That it is something that needs to be, again, at the top of the list. No matter what is happening and who's doing what. And even today here, as I'm recording this and publishing this, I've spent the last few days trying to catch up from being gone. And how interesting that even when we do have a vacation and we do have these moments where we can get away and experience something different, the life that we kind of come back to has just been waiting for us. And I didn't have anybody taking care of anything else, and there was this accumulation of things, and even just laundry and putting things away and getting back into the routine and trying to find my sleep pattern again is in itself becoming this moment to pause and reflect. And it's like this is kind of a moment where I stepped out of my normal routine for a moment. And when I come back home, what are the lessons that I've learned, and what have I realized that I can let go of these things, and I can just let that cycle end and let those moments come to a close. Like, I don't have to keep this up. And for me, sometimes it takes stepping away and stepping out of something to shift how I see things. And it becomes easier for me to reprioritize what really matters. And even as somebody like me who really does like a normal routine, and as much as I hate to admit it, that I do like this consistency in my daily life. And it does become difficult at times to toss out the plan and create a new one. And it does take me stepping away and performing a reset so that I can recognize that, yeah, that maybe wasn't the best for me and hasn't been the best for me. And this is a good time to let that go. And I'm realizing that some things may never have the return that I need. And, it's interesting when I look at this from a money perspective, and in my 20s, I remember being encouraged to invest in 401ks and these type of programs that, it's going to slowly increase over time. And that if you have, and being since we have our whole lifetime that, we're going to weather ups and downs, and the growth isn't always going to be really great, but there's going to be this accumulation. But when you're in your 50s and you're looking at investing and what are you giving into and where are you putting your time and energy? And if you think about it in the same way as money, is like, you don't want to invest in things that have no potential of growth, whether it be a job, whether it be a relationship, whether it be actual money. Like, there are some things that I give to in my life that have no return. And when I was younger, that fact didn't seem as critical. But now, like, I've got a limited amount of time left on this world. And if I have, let's just throw a number out there. If I have 20 summers left, is what I'm doing really something that I want to do? Like, if I have a limited amount of time, why would I want to invest in something that just sucks the life out of me? And I'm kind of doing that with everything in my life. Like, if there's no return, if there's nothing coming back to me, and I have relationships that just feel tense and I don't feel safe and I don't feel like, and if I can't express what I need to express without being attacked, like, I'm not going to invest. And of course, I'm going to bring astrology into this, but this is a really good time that there is support here for moving into more authentic versions of ourselves, things and people and places that are more aligned with us. And if we have the wind in our sails and we have the support from the universe and the stars and the overall energy, this is a really good time for self-care. This is a really good time for being honest about expressing what it is that we want and that we need, and for just making those necessary changes. Like, if something isn't feeding you, then maybe it's time to finally say those words and figure out what it is that does feed you and nourish you before you get depleted and hungry. Thank you for listening to this episode of Tracy Talks. Remember to rate, review, and subscribe, and share with others who would enjoy listening to this podcast. Friends can find Tracy Talks available on iTunes, Spotify, Substack, and YouTube. Hit me up on Instagram and Facebook at More Tracy Talks. And until next time, we meet again.